Africa, once again putting science at the heart of a national conversation with the Science Forum South Africa 2025. It gets underway. It's co-hosted by the Department of Science, Technology, Innovation, as well as the Science Diplomacy Capital for Africa. So this year's theme, it's called Igniting Conversations About Science, Placing Science, Technology and Innovation at the center of government, education, industry and society. And it'll set the tone for a gathering designed to bridge sectors as well as spark fresh collaboration. We're in conversation in studio today with Chairperson of the Sedibeng TVET College Council and co-chair of Wide for Wisdom Building Africa's research capabilities. That's Morongwa Mdletshe, Deputy Chairperson. Thanks for coming. So tell us about what is unique about this event. And I believe there's also another major international science summit taking place next week.
Yes. This science forum is the 10th science forum in South Africa. Science Forum is one of the largest science diplomacy events, on the continent. But what makes this very unique this year is the Wide for Wisdom seminar, which is a seminar that brought together researchers, innovators and entrepreneurs into one room to bring solutions and to talk solutions, to talk ecosystems, and that was just phenomenal.
So to people in stem cell studies, that makes a whole lot of sense, and you get the excitement out of it. But tell us how it affects us. Why is it important to us? Why should we be excited if we don't really understand what is going on?
In actual fact, I'm not in the STEM, and that's what made it so exciting for me. My background is in development, financing and incubating businesses. But we found that there was such a big gap between those researchers who are hiding behind their glasses in the lab, trying to make, something to solve our everyday problems and bringing those products and services to the market. And we decided that this is one way which we're going to bridge the gap by bringing those innovators, those scientists to the everyday people. And we called it the science of beauty, so that people can get to know, oh, okay, behind the skincare products that I'm using,
this is what happens.
This is what happens. And the scientist gets to know that, okay, in order for me to get my product, my amazing product to the everyday person, this is the conversation that I need to have, So it was sort of like a bridging of two worlds between those in the STEM and those of everyday people and consumers.
So then how is government, just through its collaboration with private sector, going to unlock more investment, but also focus on strategic research areas? Because more and more young people are using AI or just being taught coding to allow them to be very instrumental in resolving the challenges faced in their communities, which is something beautiful to see. But there also is always that push that you don't have to be a big science brain, a big maths brain. So I just want to understand how you ring fencing financing to the right sectors, especially those that would previously have been underfunded.
Okay. I think the best way to answer is to tell you a story about Wutlale Mphahlele, a young lady from the dusty streets of Mphahlele in Limpopo, who is a grassroots innovator and has, created a device that will be able to help gender-based violent victims, and as well as prevention and tracking, through a wearable. And this young lady tells a story about how when the idea came to her, she did not see herself as a technical person, as a scientist, but because of the funding frameworks that were the institutions like TIA, which were able to unpack the resources available for her, she was able to develop this in high school, and she's now doing her second year in university. So it goes to show that government is really doing some sort of work with regards to research and development, as well as incubating, the innovators. The question is, what is relevant to me? Is it relevant to you? You know that you and I are both, as women, always worried about our safety. So this is exciting for us. But someone else would say, But cancer is a silent killer. Can we invest, more in cancer? And we are saying that this conversation needs to be very holistic, have a broader societal approach in order to ensure that, the solutions that are being brought about are inclusive to society.
So, how do you identify the projects that you would say are relevant? What does relevant really mean? Because it could be ensuring that it's a bankable project that will yield a return on investment, or it could be that one doesn't even really have the vision to be forward thinking about what a specific sector, community, landscape would need.
All right. So, our problems as a continent are quite diverse. We were just listening to different stories happening all over the world. So you would understand that there's a need for different types of innovations. There's a need for different, funding for from ideation phase all the way to commercialization phase. But I think at the heart of all that we're trying to do with developing and accelerating science and technology is not looking for a return on investment today, but looking for a return on investment for future generations, to have the kind of technology in the future that will, that will help our children, that will help our children's children. So it can't just be about what can we capitalize or what can we profit today. In actual fact, we have to, as government and various institutions, put in to ensure that, incubators have a way to be able to grow their technology. But over and above that, I think all of society has different interests over science, technology, over innovations. And, with what is happening in AI, we have AI coming from different countries in the world, and that AI has shown its bias because of who are the programmers, who are the people who are coding it, and the solutions it brings then speak the language that is related to that bias. So we want solutions that are coming from Ramphahlele. We want the solutions that are coming from Lusikisiki, which will be able to generate responses that will be able to be accessible and understood by everyday people.
Very, very briefly, I still want to find out, how do you identify, because it's about an even spread, having a wider spread. How do you do that without relying on academia, without relying on private business? How do you make sure that you identify the right people, right projects?
Okay, so generally speaking, there are application processes for all the various, different types of funding, different types of technology at the different phases that they are at, and their evaluation systems. But over and about that, there are talent scouters that go around looking for the talent in different places, in the schools, in the research hubs, but also in the communities, because talent is everywhere.
Morongwa, thank you so much for being in studio with us. Morongwa Mdletshe is the Deputy Chairperson of the Sedibeng TVET College Council and co-chair of the